Imagine a goddess offers you a choice, and it's absolute. Path 1. You go home, live a long, peaceful life, grow old surrounded by people who love you, and within 2 generations, no one remembers your name. Path 2. You die young, violently, far from home, but your name echoes for 3,000 years into a world you'll never see. This isn't a thought experiment. This was the actual choice given to the greatest warrior who ever lived. And the terrifying thing is, he chose death. Achilles chose to be remembered over being alive. Today we're going inside the Iliad and the dark psychology of why a man would trade his entire life for a story. The Iliad is nearly 3,000 years old, Homer's epic of the final weeks of the Trojan War. But strip away the gods and the bronze armor, and it's not really a war story. It's a story about a man wrestling with the one question every human eventually faces. What do you actually live for? By the end of this video, you'll understand Achilles' choice, and why, deep down, some part of you might make the same one. Episode 1. 2 Destinies, Kleos versus Nostos. To understand Achilles, you need 2 Greek words. The first is kleos, glory, the fame that outlives death, your name sung by strangers long after you're gone. The second is nostos, homecoming, the return to a long, quiet life with your family. Achilles knew, from a prophecy, that he could have exactly one. Fight at Troy and die young with eternal glory, or sail home and live a full, forgotten life. The Greeks didn't see this as a simple choice between good and bad. They saw it as the deepest tension in human existence. Do you want your life to be long, or do you want it to matter? And here's what makes Achilles so fascinating. For most of the epic, he doesn't actually want to fight. He's not a bloodthirsty maniac. He's a man who understands the price of glory better than anyone, and hesitates at the edge of it. His whole story is the war between those 2 futures playing out inside one person. Chapter 2. The Psychology of Anger, a Wound to Pride. The Iliad actually opens with a single word, rage. Not war, not Troy, rage. Because the entire plot is set off not by an enemy, but by Achilles' wounded pride. His commander, Agamemnon, publicly takes a war prize from him, a woman named Briseis. To us, it might look like a squabble over property, but to Achilles, it's something deeper. A public humiliation, a theft of his honor in front of everyone he'd die for. And his response is chillingly modern. He doesn't rage outward, he withdraws. He refuses to fight. He sits in his tent and lets his own comrades die on the battlefield, just to prove a point. This is the dark psychology of wounded pride. When someone attacks our sense of worth, the ego doesn't always explode. Sometimes it withholds. Achilles weaponizes his own absence. He'd rather watch everything burn than let the man who disrespected him win. And how many of us have done a smaller version of the exact same thing? Gone cold, pulled away, punished someone with our silence, all to protect a bruised ego. Chapter 3. Loss and Transformation. Patroclus. Then everything changes. His closest companion, Patroclus, the one person Achilles loves more than his own pride, puts on Achilles' armor to rally the troops and is killed by the Trojan prince Hector. And Achilles breaks. The grief is total, animal, overwhelming. But watch what the psychology does here. His withdrawn rage, the cold pride, instantly transforms into something far more dangerous. Purpose forged from loss. Suddenly the choice between long life and glory doesn't matter anymore. He knows the prophecy says, killing Hector seals his own early death. He does it anyway, without hesitation. This is the pivot of the entire epic. Grief did what honor couldn't. Achilles stops fighting for pride and starts fighting for love. And it's precisely this that drives him straight toward his own death. The most human thing about the greatest hero is that what finally moves him isn't glory, it's a broken heart. Chapter 4. Why Achilles chose fame. So we come back to the choice. Why glory? Why death over a long, peaceful life? Here's the deeper answer the Iliad offers. For Achilles, a life without meaning is worse than no life at all. A long, quiet existence where his name fades to nothing feels, to him, like never having truly lived. Glory, kleos, is his way of defeating death itself. If he can't be immortal in body, he'll be immortal in memory. And here's the proof he was right. We are, at this very moment, 3,000 years later, saying his name. He won the bet. But Homer doesn't let it be simple. Later Greek myths tell us that in the underworld, the ghost of Achilles confesses he'd rather be a poor servant among the living than king of all the dead. Even the man who chose glory in the end longed for life. And that contradiction is the whole point. The choice between meaning and time isn't one you make once. It's one you feel pulling at you your entire life. So here's what the Iliad leaves you with, 3,000 years later. Achilles isn't remembered because he was the strongest. He's remembered because he faced the choice all of us secretly face, and he faced it without flinching. Long and comfortable, or short and meaningful, safe and forgotten, or costly and remembered. Most of us never have to answer it as starkly as he did. But every time you choose the harder, meaningful path over the easy, comfortable one, every time you risk something for a thing that might outlast you, you're making a small version of Achilles' choice. The only question is which one you'd actually make. If you want more of the dark psychology hidden inside the greatest books and myths ever written, subscribe. We go deeper every single week. I'll see you in the next one.